Hey, blast off, I can talk my ass off. Hey, smoke you what you seen and I'll tell you what I saw. Hollywood, what you think and I'll tell you what I thought. And
What's
we can
up,
talk
y'all?
about it all.
What it do? We is back.
We made it.
We made it, Smoke Dog.
What up?
What number is this, my friend?
57.
57. Want to welcome everybody back to the 57th episode of the Trash Talk Podcast.
We in it.
Smoke Dog.
What up?
I think we have an announcement for the people.
I think we do, don't we?
I think we do. Would you like to let them know, or would you like for me to?
I think we should both let them know, but we are expanding the Trash Talk empire.
We are expanding, guys. What we have decided to do is we're not going anywhere. This channel you're at now, you're going to continue to get all of our podcasts.
Yes.
You're going to continue to get all your daily trash talk, your reactions, music, you name it. You're going to get it here.
Yes.
But something that me and this guy are very good at are sports. So, with that being said, we have a new channel, and it's called Trash Talk Sports, and we will leave a description in the bottom here. Make sure you click on it. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to put out reactions. We're going to do
lists.
Top 10 best
Yes.
quarterbacks. Top 10
Yes.
best running backs.
And I think we should start, probably, this might be the first video uploaded on the channel. We're also going to do the scoreboard podcast each week.
Correct. We're also going to do reactions.
Yes.
And it's not just NFL. We're going to cover MMA. We're going to cover professional wrestling.
Fantasy football.
XFL.
We might even cover a little basketball and baseball.
We
Who
might
knows?
throw some hockey in there.
Maybe so. A little trash talk golf.
You feeling some badminton?
Some badminton. Oh, man, I'm all about that badminton life.
Let's get on some badminton. With that being said, since we're gonna kind of transition, you guys, please do us a favor and go over to that new channel and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel because we're definitely trying to grow it.
Yes.
But with that being said, today's episode is about
pro wrestling. And who exactly are the greatest pro wrestlers of all time?
That's gonna be a good question. So, without further ado, Smokey.
Yes.
Let's get into some good old-fashioned trash talk. Booyah! Booyah!
And the crowd goes wild. Yeah.
All right. When I hear, all right, let me give you my top 3.
Yeah. Well, give me a parameter. Like, what is it that you consider? What makes the greatest wrestler of all time? Is it selling arenas out? Is it who was best on promos? Who was the best in-ring worker? What makes the greatest pro wrestler to you?
Damn, that's a good criteria. What do you want, a top 3 or top 5? My opinion.
Just start with number 1
of all time.
Yes. Who is your individual number 1 of all time?
My opinion?
Yes.
Undertaker.
I somehow knew that was coming.
How did you know that was coming?
Oh, you love his character.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
And probably the most enigmatic wrestler of all time. If you want to talk about kayfabe, he is probably the greatest kayfabe wrestler of all time. I mean, he had a complete gimmick from start to finish, and he never broke character.
Never.
Not once.
So I've even heard stories of where people have met him outside of the ring and literally thought he was the dead man, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why I give him number 1, in my opinion, the best overall wrestler of all time, because I don't care what arena you're in. I don't care who you're fighting. I don't care what's going on. When those lights go dim and you hear that dong, crowd goes wild. You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Could you imagine? I mean, I remember Stone Cold saying this at one time on his podcast, that he was actually wrestling the Undertaker one night, and he was standing out in the ring waiting on the Undertaker to arrive. And
hold on. Stone Cold
and the Undertaker.
The Undertaker we have sitting right here with us.
Wow, this actually lines up because that is my greatest wrestler of all
time. Wow. All right, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
That's perfect. Well, Stone Cold said that he was out in the ring waiting on the Undertaker to arrive for his match one night. They had the match already planned out, what they were going to do in the match. The Undertaker makes his entrance, and he's watching the Undertaker come down. And, the gong hit. The
gong.
Lights go out. And he's just standing there amazed at watching this complete legend make his way to the ring, and he forgot everything he was going to do in the match.
Wow. That just shows you the aura somebody like The Undertaker can carry with them. I'm sorry, man, but I'm going to turn into a kid right now because I grew up. Isn't there a word for that era of wrestling?
The Attitude Era.
Is that what it's called?
Yes.
It's not called the Golden Era?
Well, the Golden Era is usually referred to as more of
Andre the Giant.
Yeah, Andre,
Four
Hogan,
Horsemen.
yeah, and a little before that, Bruno Sammartino, guys like that.
Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Yes,
Yeah.
those guys.
So that's what I'm saying. You said Stone Cold was going against The Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, man, I'm telling you, y'all, when I was a kid, I would call my mama in there when, like, Nitro was on.
I used to do that too, man.
Or, like, Thunder or Raw or, remember Starrcade?
Yes.
Dude, I would call and my mom would be like, oh, that stuff's so fake. But as a kid, I'm like, man, this is real as it can possibly be.
Yes.
So, I mean, I would see a Bret Hart sharpshooter or a Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
That sound from a Sweet Chin Music kick that, you know? And then
Yes.
I'll show her, like, people getting power bombed on the tables.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, there's no way this is fake.
I
And
know.
then me with the 11-year-old, 12-year-old brain, I got introduced to guess what?
What?
ECW. And you couldn't tell me nothing, bro.
Oh, man, that was great.
And
why isn't that the golden era of wrestling?
You think about it, though, some of the greatest wrestlers have come from ECW.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And when you had those three organizations, you had WCW, WWF at the time, and ECW all running. They were all in competition with each other. And it just made the television so great. You could just flip back and forth. And then ECW would show up at like midnight.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's crazy,
Oh, I
man.
used to stay up just to watch
Yeah.
ECW after watching, WWF and WCW. And
So you asked
it's
me.
amazing.
You asked me who I think overall is the best
Mm-hmm.
wrestler. I said The Undertaker.
Yes.
So I'm gonna ask you the same question.
Yes.
Overall, who do you think the best wrestler is?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And I'm gonna tell you what, you son of a.
I'm gonna stomp a mud hole in your ass and walk it dry.
Why? Hey,
Because-
well, go ahead. Well, let me say this, please.
Uh-huh.
All right. Remember how I said The Undertaker, he's got this thing to where when the lights go out and you hear that dong,
Yes,
Stone Cold has the same exact thing.
he does.
When you hear that glass break,
It's over. Could you imagine? Let's imagine pro wrestling was all real. And you're in the ring, you're in there having a match, and then you hear it, ting, that glass break.
right?
You're gonna crap yourself.
Yeah. Oh my God, Stone Cold's coming.
And the way he walked to the ring with that
With that-
BMF walk, you're like,
The way he
I'm
bob-
gonna die right now.
I feel like you remember D'Lo Brown.
Oh yeah, he
I
used
feel
to do
like he used to do that too. Take that.
and then he would get in the ring and do the head wobble.
Right. Dude, I was watching Stone Cold's podcast, not a sponsor, not a plug, but he used to say when he would go out there and like talk to people and stuff like that, like you know how you could see his mouth and people would try to lip read?
Oh yeah.
It would look like he would be saying like curse words.
Yeah.
But he's really not. I think he's a good, wholesome Christian guy, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think he's a Christian.
Really?
I think he said this much. That, he believes in doing what's right, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think he's particularly subscribes to the Christian religion or anything.
What is he?
I don't think he has a religion.
So he's agnostic?
Probably so.
Okay.
Just from listening, I mean, I don't know. I'd let the man speak for himself, but just from listening to his podcast, that's what I get from it. But who was more intimidating on the mic than Stone Cold Steve Austin?
I mean, you could say The Rock.
You could say The Rock was a better talker overall. But, man, when he would just get up in someone's face and be like, what?
Dude, I heard he hated that.
He did.
Like-
well, because the fans took it
Yeah.
over, and then they started doing it to everybody.
And Stone Cold's gonna come down,
What?
and he's gonna come down and put a hole in you,
What?
and he's gonna grab that belt
What?
and shove it up your
What?
candy
What?
poo.
The Rock.
I know.
But, yeah, I mean, come on, man. When he would just get in someone's face and start trash talking them, there was literally nothing they could do.
Right.
Like, The Rock could make fun of him, and everybody would be laughing at the things he was saying to him, but Stone Cold was genuinely intimidating.
Right.
And if you believed in pro wrestling at that time, you believed that Stone Cold could beat up
Anybody
man on earth.
When I was a kid, man, I don't know what it was, but remember like the WWF and WCW wars?
Yeah, the Monday Night Wars.
Monday Night Wars. I would always want to see who would win between Goldberg
and Stone
Cold, because they were basically the same people.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, but it's crazy you brought up The Rock, because The Rock and Stone Cold, their matches, it's like they worked so good off of each other. Have you ever seen The Rock sell a stunner?
Yes, he would do that flip
I mean,
back and
this
land on his
dude
head.
would run to the concession stand, buy a piece of popcorn, come back, fall down, get up. I mean, he sold stunners so perfectly.
Amazing. Yeah. And then you see the opposite of that when Vince McMahon would take one, and he would just fall over.
Yeah, like, come on, bro. I mean, I feel like oh, man. All right, well, this is about the greatest wrestler of all time.
Yes.
So
there's other names in this category, of course, other than The Undertaker and Stone Cold.
Give me top 5 Smokey Ramirez's best wrestlers of all time.
My top 5 is a little more, I guess you could say, pretentious, because it's a little deeper dive. I mean, everybody loves Stone Cold. People that don't watch wrestling knew who Stone Cold was, and they love Stone Cold.
Right.
Same thing with The Rock or The Undertaker or Hulk Hogan.
I mean,
Ric Flair.
Because out of all those people you just named, I would say Ric Flair would be the least popular.
You would think so, but I think Ric Flair became more and more popular after his career.
I agree.
Because people would go back and watch his promos and go, wow, this man was a genius on the mic.
Ric Flair drip go, woo! On a...
I mean, that one promo that so many rappers have used, where it's the kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun. I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down.
I mean, it's just, he was pimp. Like, it was pimp.
He was.
Talk that,
was,
you know?
That's what he was. He was all about the Cartiers, the Rolexes, and limousines.
I heard that one interview. He went on there and he was like, it was in Atlanta if I'm not mistaken. He was like, I'm staying at the Marriott room, some.
Yeah, and that's where the party is tonight.
And all these chicks randomly show up.
Yeah.
Could you imagine how much poontang this dude got?
Well, from what he says, it's in the tens of thousands.
Dang, dude.
I don't doubt it, though, to tell you the truth.
Well, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
They say he slept with over 10.
They say it's between Ric Flair, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Gene Simmons. Those are the 3 names that put out the highest numbers.
And Hollywood 6. I'm joking. I'm joking.
But I don't know. I mean, what about Hulk Hogan?
I think he was because he was with Linda, or not Linda. What's her name? What's his wife?
Remember it was Linda Hogan.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought that was Linda McMahon.
It was Linda McMahon also. I think wasn't his first wife.
You need to Google that, because I remember them having the
Hogan Knows Best.
Was that what it called? The reality show.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but Brooke Hogan, beautiful.
Yeah, it was Linda Hogan from 83 to 2009.
Yeah, so that's 83. Even though I'm sure he had chicks throwing it at him.
Yeah.
He seems like a good, wholesome family guy.
Yeah.
Although he was kicked off of because of some...
because he thought he could get a little cute with his language at some point.
Right. I don't think he meant it.
I don't think so. I really don't think he's a racist, man.
You think you had to put money on it? What do you think?
I don't think so. I mean, look, you could say anybody would do something for the money, but he had the run with Mr. T.
Mr. T? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had the run with working against Debo.
Debo. Yeah. Tiny Lester.
Yeah.
A lot of people. Would you put in the top 5 greatest wrestler of all time? Would you put Booker T in there?
I wouldn't put him in the top 5. Maybe in a top 20.
Top 10?
Maybe. He's close.
He's a legend. Isn't he the first?
Greatest, if you're talking the greatest tag teams of all time.
Oh, Harlem Heat. 100%.
Gotta be up there, yeah.
Stevie Ray and Booker T, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be between who?
Well,
Harlem Heat,
all right.
the Dudleys,
Okay, do it. So give me a top 5 greatest tag team. Go ahead. Harlem Heat, Dudley.
Dudleys, the Hardys,
Okay.
the Road Warriors.
Okay. You got one more. Think about this, Smokey. Think about what you're about to say here. You got Edge and Christian.
I was thinking Edge and Christian.
You got when Shawn Michaels was with
Marty Jannetty.
Marty Jannetty.
The other side of that, the Rock and Roll Express.
Not even that. The Rock and Mankind.
There you go. The Rock and Sock Connection.
Right, Rock and Sock Connection.
Yeah, that was a great tag team. It didn't last as long. When I think of great tag teams, I'm thinking of people that stayed together for most of their careers,
Right. Give me one more. You got 4. Let me get one more.
Man, I would have to throw. I mean, it goes back to before the Attitude Era, but the Rock and Roll Express were huge for their time.
And who was that again?
That was Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson.
Huh.
They still wrestle today, actually. They've wrestled for Billy Corgan in Atlanta.
Oh, really?
In the NWA, yeah.
Okay. Billy.
Yeah. They had their run.
That NWA name. I feel like there was like 4 NWAs. There was an old school NWA.
Yeah, it was the Alliance, the National Wrestling Alliance. So there were different organizations that were part of the Alliance.
Mm.
And today it's just that one single entity that Billy Corgan owns.
Is that a part of the original one though? Like, was it a branch off?
Yes, he bought the rights to the original NWA.
Huh.
Yes. That would, if you go back far enough before WWE, and WCW was part of the NWA in the beginning.
Right.
And they transferred the belt to WCW. So basically, the original NWA was narrowed down into one entity that became WCW at some point. And then WCW went on their own. ECW was part of the NWA at one point.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I got something stuck in my tooth.
I see that.
I'm trying to get it out. It's bothering me. Go ahead.
But so after WCW went out on their own, the NWA was basically left to just. This is great radio.
Sorry, guys.
It,
Trash Talk Sports, baby.
Jackie Show back in effect.
I'm back in effect. Go ahead.
But so it was basically just left as an entity to its own because WCW had became the giant entity that Ted Turner owned.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a bunch of little individual indies promotions were part of the NWA at that point. And
like there
was like the NWA Hollywood. There was what?
Whenever people say Hollywood, just Hollywood.
But yeah, I mean, there was a few in Georgia. There was like NWA Rampage, NWA Anarchy, stuff like that. But eventually, it fizzled out, and Billy Corgan comes along and buys the rights to it and starts up the NWA again with all the original belts.
Mm-hmm.
He had the 10 pounds of gold that Ric Flair had. And
this was at NWA.
Yes.
Okay.
And Ric Flair actually. It's crazy thing about the NWA is that back in the day they were the only official group of organizations, and WWF, it was actually WWWF came along, and
the Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
They were actually a part of the NWA at first, and then they broke off, and it was Vince McMahon's dad who owned it, and when they broke off, Vince McMahon took it to this worldwide phenomena that it was, But they would have one champion of the entire NWA that would travel the country. Guys like Harley Race and Dusty Rhodes.
Rhodes.
Yeah, they would give the belt to these giant superstars that would travel the country to each little independent territory and wrestle their champion
and beat them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You said Ted Turner. Did Ted Turner he own WCW?
Yes. He bought WCW from Crockett Promotions.
No, Vince McMahon bought WCW.
He did once, yes. Once Ted Turner had actually basically was bought out by AOL, Time Warner, and they didn't want wrestling anymore. So they were looking for a way to unload WCW onto someone during the dying days of WCW, And the Monday Night Wars was all but over at that point, and Eric Bischoff was going to buy it at one time, but they said, no, you're not going to have a TV for it. And Eventually, Vince McMahon buys it up and becomes the only show in town.
So does Ted Turner have any stock in WCW right now?
Not anymore.
So
No.
you think he regrets that?
I think so because he loved wrestling. I mean, he showed Crockett, and he even aired WWF at one point in time on
TBS.
Yes,
Turner
didn't last long, but it did. Yes.
Turner, that he owned AOL too, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, yeah. AOL eventually bought out half the company, or however that went down. We could talk to Neil about that because.
Oh, we'll have to get Neil Pruitt back on the program.
Yeah, definitely, because he knows the entire story that went on there.
I did some research on Neil. There's some videos out there with him, like, with some people. Like, hanging out with some people,
Oh,
you
he
know?
was big time.
Yeah. We're getting off topic here, Smoke.
All right.
I've given you my number one greatest.
And mine was Stone Cold.
I need 4 more. So, let's start this clip right here. Smokey,
You want my top 5?
give me your top 5 best wrestlers of all time.
For me, now this is not popularity vote. I mean, this is just who I thought were my favorites.
Okay, who you
And
got?
they all come from the Attitude Era. It was Stone Cold, number 1.
Stone Cold.
Number 2 was Big Van Vader.
What? Wait, Big Van Vader?
Big Van Vader.
Okay,
That's who he was before it was shortened to just Vader.
Vader.
Because, I don't know, I was really scared of him as a kid.
With that V and that mask,
Dude,
I'd be
He
too.
was a giant man, and he would go in there and just waffle people.
Waffle them. Waffle.
Go back and watch Vader matches. He would hurt people.
And that Vader splash, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Like, he tore people up, man. I used to feel so bad for Sting or Ric Flair whenever they had to wrestle him.
Oh,
Like,
man.
that dude would just hurt people.
What was his finisher? The Vader bomb, right?
Yeah.
It was just a power bomb.
Yeah, he had to. Yeah, he would also do that one where he'd climb up and do the splash off the
Yeah,
rope.
yeah.
And I forgot what he called that one. But,
Vader splash.
yeah, I guess the Vader splash. Yeah.
I thought.
Whew. But there was also Conan.
Wait, this is your number 3?
Yes.
You're putting Conan
This is mine, man.
Well,
This
wait.
is not the greatest of all time. This is mine.
And that's what I want. You're talking about. Let me make sure I'm correct here. We're not talking about Conan.
Orale.
Orale. That's what we're
Yes.
talking about.
Viva la raza.
Viva la raza.
Man, I still watch Conan. He still does things in like AAA in Mexico and MLW here in America.
When
Like,
I used to watch him in WCW, I used to think he was a straight up cholo gangster.
He was.
Like straight up cholo.
It was crazy. He was a Cuban that went
He
to
went-
Mexico to become a luchador. Yes.
He wore a mask and everything?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
And he took off the mask, he lost it in some match or whatever, came to America and became a huge star at that point, But he was a giant star. If you want to talk about Mexican wrestling, there was the AAA, which he was the biggest star of, and then there was it's CMLL, Viva la Lucha Libre, or whatever they called it, Mucha Lucha or whatever. But and their biggest star was Vampiro.
I remember. He wore the mask and the little...
Well, he had the dreads, and he would paint his face white. Vampiro.
Okay, I remember Vampiro, yeah.
Yeah. There were other bigger stars like Mil Mascaras and guys like that.
Ultimo Dragon.
Yeah, Ultimo Dragon was a good one. Rey Mysterio.
First of all, I just want to say Rey Mysterio, I feel like he's been wrestling for 75 years now.
Still wrestling.
This guy's been wrestling forever, dude.
You ain't gonna see Conan or
No.
or any of those other guys wrestling these days. But
Whoever thought of the gimmick, because you said that there was a match where they took his mask off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whoever thought of the gimmick to make him because I remember him coming out in low riders and
Yeah.
chucks with.
the filthy animals.
With the wasn't he part of the Wolfpack?
I think he was for a short period of time. Yeah.
I think so.
He went over to WWE and became bigger than ever. He went over there with Eddie Guerrero, one of the greatest of all
greats.
time.
All right, so back to greatest of all time. We got Stone Cold.
Yes,
Vader. Smokey says Vader.
Conan.
Smokey says Conan. I just want to say those are too abstract. I can understand the Stone Cold.
Exactly. I told you they are. And it might seem pretentious, but those were my favorites at the time. Raven.
Oh, he's in my top 5.
Yeah.
Quote the Raven.
One of the best promos of all time.
Dude, go ahead. I'm going to let you finish yours and I'm going to get on mine.
Well, let's talk about Raven for a second.
Okay, all right. Me, I don't know what it is, but I'm attracted to the dark side of things. I'm attracted to the leave me alone. The what's the word I'm looking for? The
Emo.
emo side
He
of
was
it.
really emo.
Dude, he would come out. He wouldn't have the crowd chant. People would be booing Raven.
Yes.
Raven would, and another reason I liked him because he originated in ECW. Came into the ring when he got to WCW. Was he in WWF?
Yeah. Can't done it all.
Right. So when he, even in ECW, I just like the fact that he wasn't worried about the fans. He wasn't worried about the hype. He would come in the ring, get over that rope, and just sit on the bottom corner just like, what's up, bro? To me, that was just so dope.
It was amazing. And dude, probably one of the highest IQs ever in the sport of wrestling.
He was smart?
He had like a 160-something IQ. It was ridiculous.
Really?
You watch some of his like interviews that he would do outside of wrestling. Dude, he's a
he
genius.
really?
He's really a genius.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
And number 5 would be the Crow version of Sting.
Oh, dude. Okay. All right. That's okay. Go ahead.
Oh,
we have such similar minds. It's crazy,
I mean,
dude.
It's the dark gimmicks, you know.
Yeah. Why do you think we're attracted to that kind of stuff?
I don't know. I think.
You are a psychology guy. Why do you think we're attracted to the emo, dark side of things?
Well, I think it relates to our personality, obviously, you know, and a lot of it has to do with the music we would listen to.
Okay.
You know, we were into dark music at that time also, you know.
Right.
Things like the 3-6 Mafia.
666.
Yeah, and you know, we could go deep on music.
I mean, let's not, but we can.
But, you know, like the horrorcore scene and you know, just dark hip-hop and even rap. I mean, rock, you know.
You know, I kind of feel like they say life just has a way of unfolding. I mean, you can't think about this, Smokey. Just to leave wrestling for a moment. We both have. What's your birthday?
July 25th.
What's your sign?
Leo.
So you're a Libra. I mean, a Leo. You're a lion. You like to be. See, this is how
independent.
You're independent. You like to lead. You like to take control. You like to. I'm an Aries, God of War. I like to start things. I like to finish things.
I can definitely see that.
Right. So, me coming out of high school, you've already graduated high school. The universe brings us together to create a rap group.
Yes.
Not knowing this is almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I am a huge fan of wrestling.
Yes.
Love Sting, love The Undertaker.
Oh yeah.
Love Pastor Troy, love 3-6 Mafia, like making my own beats. I meet this guy who loves Sting, who loves Raven, who makes his own beats, who listens to ICP.
Yeah.
Out of the 7, 8, 9, 10 people we had in that group, 20 years later,
yeah,
me and
We're
this
still doing stuff
still
together.
doing the exact same thing in front of a microphone, entertaining you people. This is how I know. I don't know what it is we're doing. I don't know how we're gonna get there, but I just know we're on the right track.
Yeah,
that's all I know.
Yeah, synchronicity, man.
That's it.
And give me your top 5.
All right, Undertaker.
Yes.
I've already explained why. The aura, I mean, just he's a freaking. If you
master of psychology.
Is he?
In wrestling.
In wrestling, okay. This is in no particular order. Number 2, I'd have to put Raven, just because. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's his persona. It's the way he and that DDT.
Yeah, the even flow.
Oh my God, bro! And even amazing. When he had the flock, like the way they were just like, I don't know, something about Raven. It was like he was grungy, you know?
Man, I used to go back and as a kid, like I was so into wrestling that I would make like little sheets and list out my, like once a month or so, I'd list out my top favorite wrestlers. I'd be like, these are my favorite cruiserweights and just nerdy stuff. But man, Raven was always in my top 5.
Let me tell you what I would do. When I was a kid, yes, I was a huge video game player, but I used to love action figures. Yeah. I had Batman, Superman, all the comic book action players. But when I would play with my action figures, I wouldn't use them like, oh, Batman's throwing his batarang or Superman's using his laser. Yeah. I would be like, okay, Batman, you're the Undertaker for the day. Yeah. Raven, you're Stone Cold. I mean, and I would have them like do special moves and jumping off of rings.
Yeah.
Like, it's, I don't know. Wrestling's always been a part of my life.
Oh, yeah.
But, all right, Undertaker, Raven, All right. The Sandman.
Sandman's a good
The
one.
Sandman, I loved him because I thought he could
He was
fly.
like Stone Cold of ECW.
I thought he could fly back in the day. I really did. Number 4 would be Sting, Crow era.
Yeah.
And number 5 would probably... Oh, man, that's a tough one.
I know.
I'm thinking because I loved Mankind.
Yeah, Mankind was a good one.
Dang, my number 5...
One thing about Mankind, I hated Dude Love.
What?
I loved Mankind.
Cactus
I loved
Jack?
Cactus Jack. I
Mick
hated
Foley
Dude
and
Love.
Dude Love. That's the only person you can name with 4 personas that made
Yes.
all 4 work.
Yes, exactly.
But you're right. Dude Love would come out there with the hot chicks like, bro, you ain't pulling them.
Yeah, exactly.
You ain't pulling them, bro.
Like, that is not you at all.
No.
Like, Mankind, yes, that fits you. Cactus Jack was perfect. He's actually originally Cactus Jack Manson.
That was his first...
That was his first name. Yeah,
that was the first...
Yeah, because he kind of looked like Charles
Manson.
Manson. Yeah.
This was ECW?
I think it was before ECW.
NWA?
Yeah, I mean, he bounced around territory to territory before ECW. He actually was in WCW for a while. I think he might have actually debuted in WCW. We'd have to ask Neil, as Cactus Jack Manson, though.
Really?
Yeah.
And I would point out that he probably was the first person to do that infamous walk that Ric Flair does.
Oh, yeah.
I think he originated
you think he did
that.
It before
I
Ric
think
Flair?
he's the originator.
Ric Flair was doing that a long time ago. I think that might have been a Buddy Rogers thing, if you want to go back to the 60s and stuff.
No clue who that is. No.
That's really deep dive right there.
Right. Number 5 of my top 5 greatest wrestlers of all time would be Glacier.
Glacier.
No, absolutely not. That was such a
Ray
ripoff
Boyd.
of Sub-Zero from Mortal
It was.
Kombat.
Remember Mortis?
Yeah, I remember Mortis. Dude, see, I like Gangrel.
Oh, yeah. I love Gangrel. I love the whole Brood.
The Visceras.
Yes, Edge was awesome.
Ooh,
yeah.
I could say
The
something.
Ministry of Darkness.
The Ministry of Darkness.
Oh, man. That was awesome.
I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to try to put it as educational as possible, okay? Okay, the dark side of the internet.
Uh-huh.
You get where I'm going here?
Yeah.
Viscera.
Viscera?
That's all. If you can follow me there.
I think so. Maybe not. Yeah. Yeah.
He makes,
Well, he's dead now, but
or he did.
yeah.
Viscera,
Did he?
Viscera made adult video.
I didn't know that.
Yes, and China's involved in one.
No.
I put it on everything.
I knew China.
Yeah.
Didn't know Viscera. Big Daddy V.
Big Daddy V. All right, but my 5th and final one, probably, and this is going away from the whole stereotypical emo thing,
Yeah.
but it's probably going to have to be Shawn Michaels, man.
Huh?
Just,
One of the greatest workers of all time.
yeah, I mean, that Sweet Chin music kick, and when he was the Heartbreak Kid, dude, what was the event? In Your House?
Yeah, in your house.
I feel like that was dedicated to Shawn Michaels.
It was originally.
Was it?
Yeah, I mean, they would have these 4 big events each year. You know, they had Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and WrestleMania.
Yep.
So when they were trying to compete with WCW, they wanted to start running pay-per-views every month.
Mm-hmm.
So they would fill the in-between time with In Your House, and WCW was using Clash of the Champions. So Clash of the Champions ran for free because they had their own network. Ted Turner did.
TBS.
So they ran it for free on TV, and WWE was looking for a way to compete with that, so they ran these cheap pay-per-views, and they were like $14. You know, whereas you were going to pay 30 or 40 at that time to watch the WrestleMania.
Right.
They're like, hey, $14, you can watch another pay-per-view.
Right.
And,
With some good wrestlers.
yeah, and that's where you got the rise of Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. Yes.
Bret Hart would probably be my number 6, man. But
He's up there.
the way Shawn Michaels, when he came in off the rafters and would, like doing the...
Yes.
That was just so... And gotta tie in UFC here. Do you remember... You know Israel Adesanya, right?
Yes.
The last fight that he fought against Robert Whittaker, he came out in Australia, and the fight before that, when he fought Kevin Gastelum, and this was in Atlanta where he won the belt. He came out, or he asked Dana White, and he's like, "Listen, man, I want to cut," because he's a dancer. He was a pop locker before he was a UFC fighter. So he came out and he's like, hey man, I want to do like a dance show, which is not really big in UFC. Back in Pride days, yeah, you have people come out with the girls and all this big entrance, but Dana White wouldn't let him do it against Kevin Gastelum. He beat Kevin Gastelum, was in Melbourne, Australia, his Kiwi hometown, and they let him do his whole Jabberwocky dance, and he won. Now, they said, hey, you did one of the most iconic entrances in UFC history. And they're asking, what are you going to do next? He was like, hey, man, you never know. I might come down from the rafters like Shawn Michaels, you know? Like,
he did. That was a big thing, too. I remember when that happened. And they were talking about, this is the showstopper. That's where he got that name from, like. He's had some of the most grandest entrances of all time. What are we going to do next?
Really?
He comes down on a little zip line.
And it was epic. And he's just rocking, like, killing it. I think they stopped that after Owen Hart, didn't they?
Yes, I think they did.
Rest in peace, Owen Hart.
Yeah, Owen Hart, man. Gone way too early, man. He could have done some great things when he hit his prime.
Can I hit you with some wrestling trivia real quick?
Go for it.
All right, here we go, y'all. We're going to hit Smokey with some wrestling trivia. Let's see how good he knows his wrestling. All right, Conan's finisher.
Tequila Sunrise.
Eddie Guerrero's finisher.
The Frog Splash.
Sting's real name.
Steve Borden.
Undertaker's real name. Come on.
Mark Calloway.
There you go. Kane's finisher.
That was the chokeslam.
Ric Flair's
he had the tombstone also,
but I think the chokeslam was.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
All right. You ready for this one? You want a tough one?
Yeah.
You want a tough one?
Yeah.
Viscera's finisher.
Whew, you might have me there. Did he do the splash? He was a big guy. I think it
was like
it might have been.
Or was it like a bear hug or something?
It might have been at one point. I want to say the splash, though. I remember him as Mabel doing the splash.
Mabel.
Yeah.
Y'all let us know if he's right or wrong about that.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a real deep dive right there.
Right. I got two more for you.
All right.
Lex Luger's finisher.
That was the torture rack.
Torture rack, baby. Yeah. All right. You ready for this one? I got to give you a tough one, Smokey.
All right.
All right. This is a two-part question.
All right.
When Undertaker first debuted, where did they say he was from? When he came out as The Undertaker.
Death Valley, California.
My dog. All right. Now, second question about The Undertaker. There was a mirror match. Undertaker versus The Undertaker.
Yes.
Who was the fake Undertaker?
That was primetime Chris. What was it?
Come on.
Brian Lee.
My dog.
Yes.
My dog Smokey's
primetime
got him.
Brian Lee. Yes.
Awesome, man.
From Knoxville.
You got any trivia for me before we hop into our own G's WTF?
I could go real deep.
Don't go too deep, but give me a little bit. Give me 5 good questions. Let's see if I can compete with you.
What was the finish to the famous Bret Hart Stone Cold match at WrestleMania? What was it? 13?
I don't remember what number it was, but that was the. It was. Don't tell me. The name for it was the Montreal Screwjob.
No, that was Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels. Oh crap! The finish. What was Shawn Michaels? I mean, Stone Cold put Bret Hart in the
Reverse that.
Bret Hart put Stone Cold in a sharpshooter,
and he passed out with all the blood.
Blood on his face. Oh, that's the iconic. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Do I get 50?
I'll give you half a point.
All right, I'll take that. All right, give me 4 more.
All right, let me think here, man. I could go into like, what was Ron Fuller's?
Ooh, he did my taxes last week. I don't know. Come on.
Who did Buddy Rogers beat to obtain the NWA title the second time?
Clue. Crazy.
Let's see. You want attitude there, Ross?
Yeah, give me something. Yeah, I need 4 more. Just see if I can rival your IQ of wrestling.
Okay, Mankind's finisher.
Mandible Claw.
Okay. You want to just do finishers?
I mean, whatever you got. I got 3 more. Throw me some.
Man, I keep thinking of something like, no, that's too easy. No, that's way too hard. Jerry Lawler's son's name. It was part of a 3-man team that was very iconic in the Attitude Era.
Jerry King Lawler's. Oh, man. Robbie Lawler? No, I'm thinking of Robbie. UFC.
He's a wrestler now, though.
Robbie Lawler.
No, not Robbie Lawler. What's the other Lawler? Filthy Tom Lawler.
Oh, I have no clue. You got me on this one. Who is it?
Brian Christopher, Grandmaster Sexay.
Never would have gotten
You
that.
know, Scotty Too Hottie, Grandmaster
Okay.
Sexay, Rikishi.
That's
Yeah, that was Jerry Lawler's son.
Rikishi?
No.
Oh,
Brian
I was about to say, dude.
And he's dead now. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. All right, 2 more. Come on, don't make them too hard.
I tried. I wanted to go too deep. I mean, I didn't want to go too deep, but I didn't want to give you something just completely easy.
Right. Come on, give me some.
What's another deep dive into the Attitude Era? John Cena's first match. Who did he face?
This is WWF, right?
Yes.
Not
2002.
Not WWE.
It was right before they changed to WWE. It was still WWF, I believe. Yes,
Kurt
it
Angle.
was.
Kurt Angle.
You're right.
I got it.
Ruthless aggression.
I got it.
And he lost that match.
Yes, he
as a matter
did.
of
I
fact.
remember.
Yeah, that was a good one.
All right, who you got? Last one.
Let's see here. Brock Lesnar's finisher.
F5.
Oh, that was easy.
That's
huh?
easy. Hey, we.
Well, see, what brings this up now? Let's finish off with this. John Cena puts out a tweet. John Cena, arguably in sales and drawing houses and runs in wrestling, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
I totally disagree, and I think the worst gimmick of all time. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, everybody says that because they hate his gimmick. Or
Hate it.
They hate how squeaky clean, the good guy, they hate somebody being the good guy forever,
As a fellow rapper, you should hate it.
I have no problem with it.
Have you seen the clip where he was outside freestyling with the fan?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't,
Come
it
on
was
now.
set up. But he actually broke off into a freestyle, and it wasn't bad. He was actually a decent rapper
That
for what he
wasn't a
was.
freestyle.
At the end, it was. I know he had some lines prepared,
Yeah. Okay.
but that's a little neither here nor there. So John Cena puts out this tweet that says, Brock Lesnar is the greatest pro wrestler of all time. How do you feel about that?
Well, you could argue that in this era he is.
In this era, I believe, yes.
You could argue that. He's managed by Paul Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
One of the greatest managers of all time.
One of the greatest talkers of all time.
I
Best promos.
I would say next to Jimmy Hart, him and
Jim Cornette.
Jim Cornette, they are
Yeah.
probably
Best managers ever.
Yeah.
Bobby Heenan, maybe.
Bobby. Of course, man. We could go into managers too.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
for
yeah.
another video.
Yes.
But Brock Lesnar being the greatest wrestler of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's won Money in the Banks. He's been
Held the title probably longer
forever.
than anybody in this era. Yeah.
Right, and don't take away his UFC career.
Yes, I think that may be part of it, saying that he could basically legitimately beat any wrestler in that locker room at any given time.
In a real physical fight.
Mhm.
I would. What?
Well, go back in the
Hold
day.
on now.
Back in the day in pro wrestling, back before kayfabe was broken,
Explain to the people what kayfabe is.
Kayfabe it's an old carny term that explains how you keep the secret of pro wrestling. Basically, you keep it kayfabe.
Right.
If in the carny days, if you had a mark that came along and you wanted to, you would speak in carny like Kiz Arnie, Lizuk, Izuk over this area.
Like Snoop Dogg talks.
Yeah, exactly. And you wanted to keep your secrets from them. You keep it kayfabe.
Mm-hmm. What does that stand for?
I think it's I don't
Something
know. I mean,
character
I don't know
fabricated?
how it translates exactly, but it originally was kayfabing. But yeah, I don't know exactly how it got started, but it just came from the carnivals, because wrestling grew out of the carnivals.
Right.
But, or at least the wrestling we know today, there was legitimate wrestling at one point in time. If you go back to like Carl Gotch days, Frank Gotch days, back in the early 1900s and before that. But
I just want to point out Ric Flair wrestled him.
so,
That's how old he is. Go ahead.
yes, exactly. He might have.
if he'd really, Ric Flair is 87,000 years
bet
old.
in wrestling, you could play the 7 degrees of Ric Flair, and everybody ever in wrestling is tied
Connected
to Ric Flair
in
somehow.
some way.
Yes.
All right, back to Brock Lesnar.
Okay, so if you go back far enough, before kayfabe was broken, before there was so much cooperation, people really took the titles to heart. You know, if you were the champion, you drew the money. You made lots of money for being champion.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you get a tough guy in there who says, "That's it. I'm not gonna cooperate tonight.
And
I'm
just
taking your title.
break
and
kayfabe.
Stop me."
Okay.
So if you want to look at it from that direction, who's gonna stop Brock Lesnar from winning any match that he won? You know, they would say that about Andre. That at any time, if he didn't want to give you the title,
He's not gonna give it to
you weren't
you.
gonna get it.
You know, see, Kurt Angle said this.
Yes. Now, Kurt Angle is the one guy we could make the argument for that
Well,
could beat
he's
Brock Lesnar in a legitimate fight.
Well, a wrestling match.
In a legitimate wrestling match, yes.
And
I don't know about throwing hands, but
no, but if you're an MMA fan, I don't care who you talk to, every MMA analyst or true MMA fan at heart, they know, or if you're just an MMA fan, you know the number one aspect to being a great MMA fighter is wrestling.
Yes.
You have to have wrestling.
Yes.
So you have a point. Kurt Angle might. I'm trying to think right now.
And there was Ken Shamrock at one point.
At one point, no one could touch Ken Shamrock.
Yeah.
At one point, Ken Shamrock didn't Ken Shamrock. No.
He won the title before.
Well, I was thinking, didn't him and Brock Lesnar fight, but they never fought.
No, I don't think so.
But
Fought Kimbo.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Kimbo's basically a black Brock Lesnar.
Yes, exactly.
And beat him, didn't he?
No, they never fought. Kimbo never fought Brock.
Kimbo never fought. Did they
Shamrock.
fight?
Kimbo beat Shamrock, yes, but it was when they were both past their prime.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I thought Ken Shamrock backed out of that, and that's what
He did. That was the first fight. They fought again in like 2013 when they were both old men and they were both past their prime.
And Kimbo won?
Kimbo won, yes. Right before the infamous Dada 5000 match where they both died.
Died in the. That's not a laughing matter.
Yes, it's not.
But I don't know, man. I would. I mean, you can't really argue against that. Brock Lesnar might be the best wrestler today.
Yeah. I mean, really, who's gonna stop him if he wants the title? I mean, sure, you could fire him after the match is over.
But he's going to win
But
the
if he
title.
doesn't want to lose,
He ain't
who's
gonna
going to
lose.
stop him?
I mean, CM Punk could, but.
I think some of the girls could roll up CM Punk and take a win on him if they wanted.
Easily. All right, y'all. That wraps up this edition of Trash Talk. That was a good
I love
one.
wrestling, man.
Yeah, we could talk about it. Which is why we're starting the new channel, Trash Talk Sports. And if you
Yes.
guys like this kind of conversation, head on over to that channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and you can get more of this.
Join us.
With that being said, let's get into some OMG and some WTF. Who goes first this week, Smoke Dizzle?
I think since I'm doing the mugshots, this is probably my turn to go first.
Quick question.
Yes.
Why is it that back in the day when during ECW when they would do their chants, they would say EC double.
EC dub.
Yeah.
I think it's just easier to say.
EC they wouldn't say ECW. EC dub. It'd be like EC double.
The 3 syllables just work better.
Right. EC dub.
EC
Dub.
dub. EC dub. Trying to do that with WWF. Dub F. Dub F. You never heard a WWF chant.
Never. Best
never
chant
happened.
of all time.
Holy
No. Undertaker.
clap.
Undertaker. Heck yeah, dude.
Oh man. I think in the beginning the "This is awesome" chant worked.
Oh,
better before
this
it was
is
just played
awesome.
out.
Yeah.
Because you knew if they were chanting that, you were seeing a great match. You know?
100%.
But it got played out eventually, and now there's like 2 indie guys. No, it's not.
Yeah, it's not anymore.
Yeah, I don't care if Tommaso Ciampa is fighting whoever, Dumbledore 3. I don't know.
Smokey.
Yes.
What the Florida, man?
What the Florida? This comes from the Orlando Weekly. Florida man is upset because he couldn't bring his life-size Donald Trump cutout to dialysis with him.
Well, that's kind of messed up.
It is.
Well, go ahead. Read the story.
Dialysis really sucks for everyone involved. The patients, their families, and their caregivers. What makes it bearable is the environment. Little details like soft lighting, a good-humored medical team. So leave it to a Florida man in Port St. Lucie to somehow make it worse. Oh, this is biased. By insisting. Words are hard. Insisting on bringing along his life-size cardboard photo cutout of President Donald Trey Trump in this thing. Yeah, I was trying not to get demonetized, but DT. I think I already said Donald Trump.
Yeah,
anyway.
we're kissing goodbye.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pay them to put this one out.
Right.
Another controversial Florida man do his dialysis treatment. He is a Florida man now.
Yeah.
We covered that. To Cuesta ABC affiliate, WPBF-TV is standing up for just that man, Nelson Gibson, bravely giving a platform to his victim as he faces the grave suppression of his rights. So what it is, this man is going through dialysis. Surprisingly, it's not even a white man.
What?
Yes. Apparently, he met Donald Trump at one time, and
Donald Trump's from Florida?
he is now. We covered that. That's what we were just talking about.
That explains a lot.
But yeah, so he wants to make his dialysis better by bringing his cutout. You know what? He looks like Abdullah the Butcher.
Is this your mugshot too?
No, it's not. But if you want to see the picture, I can show you.
Let me see it. I'm not gonna put it on screen, but let me see it. I just want to. That's Abdullah the Butcher.
It is, ain't it? Abdullah DT.
But now, talking about this guy, you can't get mad at the dialysis people about this.
Yeah,
well,
they're offended.
I mean, he's got his right to.
Yeah, I mean, it's I guess in a fair way we could look at this and say it's a private establishment, and if they're completely against him bringing it in, they can refuse. But it's a medical facility, so what are the laws?
Are hospitals private property?
Well, it's a dialysis center, but see, you can't refuse treatment to anyone at a hospital.
That's an oath they take.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So how does that work with the dialysis center?
Good question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Let's say you're the owner of that dialysis place, and a guy brings in a Donald Trump. You mad about that?
No, I wouldn't be mad about it. I mean,
what if you're a Jewish person and that person brings in a cut of Hitler?
Well,
see,
here's what you got to look at. Is it running off your other customers? Are your other customers so offended that they're leaving? Okay. Then you might have to step in and say, for the sake of my business, we can't be bringing that in.
Now
here.
That I understand. And if I'm not mistaken, any place that does monetary transactions, you have the right to refuse service.
Exactly. Yeah. Except for hospitals.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, yeah, I mean,
I think that's part of their requirements. If you want to own a hospital, you can't refuse service to anyone that needs service.
Right, and I don't think any hospitals take cash. Like,
they will. Oh, I've had to pay up front before.
But so you've been to the hospital and have had to give cash to the.
Now you don't have to, but they request it.
Right.
Because they get so many people that don't pay.
Yeah.
They will request money up front.
Look, we're gonna need some money. If you can't
pay, they're still gonna treat you.
Yeah.
But they will want you to pay.
Wow. Well.
But anyway.
That's what the Florida. And again, what the Florida.
That's Florida for you.
All right. Today's OMG, oh my Georgia. All right. Let me ask you a question. What's something Atlanta's known for, like in the adult community?
Freaknik.
Okay, you're in the right path. What
the T clubs?
Oh wait, okay,
yeah.
Strip clubs, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I said the T
clubs. I mean, people don't know that we're drinking tea.
The adult gentlemen's clubs,
right?
Adult entertainment.
The strip.
Not even can't say gentlemen's club in this day and age.
Why?
Because it's all inclusive.
Give me a freaking break. Give me a break, dude. All right. The title from this. You can't say gentlemen's club no more?
Apparently not.
That is freaking crazy, man.
You gotta say adult entertainment.
Well, the title for this OMG on my Georgia. Stripper falls off 2-story pole, breaks her jaw, keeps twerking.
I saw this.
That's epic, dude.
Oh my god, what a video that was.
Thankfully, Gina Sky is doing okay after falling 15 feet off a stripper pole. The exotic dancer who works at a famed Georgia strip club seriously injured herself this weekend when she was performing on stage.
I'm trying not to laugh.
After getting to the top of a 2-story pole, Gina came tumbling down, landing on her face. However, seen in the now viral video of the incident, Gina handled the fall like a pro, bouncing right back up and continued to twerk.
She did. I saw it.
Let me say this right now. If I can break your jaw and you still are committed to making sure I have a good night, you deserve every penny.
She needs to be in the wrestling business.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, she gonna break something and finish that match.
100%. Gina.
She ain't gonna sell out like some of these people be like, oh, I saw Sin Cara jammed his pinky and quit the match. Yeah, they fired him.
Not Gina.
No, she gonna break something and be like, we can finish. Let's go.
This dude.
Give me the power bomb.
This lady was on a 2-story. First of all, where do you get a 15-foot stripper pole? Where do you get
one? What was the club again? I just saw the clip.
It didn't say the club. It just said a famous Georgia strip club. Let's see if it says the club.
Oh, we all know the big ones around.
Yeah, if you're from Georgia, Atlanta, you.
But she was up there too, because when I saw the video, and you guys can all go look it up for yourself. When I saw the video, I was looking at the girl on the stage because I was like, "What's going on here?" But she was all the way at the ceiling, and she went kerplunk.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Dude, she's up. Ooh.
Boom.
Ooh. And kept going like a G.
It just rolled over like, yep, I'm still making my money.
Ooh. Bruh.
Too bad we can't put this on screen, but look
just
it up for
Google
yourself.
that. This lady is a G to the T.
She is.
That's crazy.
Tough.
For real. That wraps up OMG and WTF. Smoke, you got something for me to explain?
I do.
Let me see.
We have a mugshot of the week, a famous mugshot of the week.
All right. Does this show up on screen anywhere?
It does. It is a matter of fact, where the video didn't show up, this will show up right
bing, bing.
Here.
All right. This. Oh man, you did not.
I did it.
You did not, dude.
I did it.
Dang, Smoke.
Who is this, Hollywood?
This is the iconic, the legendary, the one-of-a-kind, the influential, the groundbreaking, the superstar, the impactful Tupac.
The greatest.
Amari Shakur.
Yes. The greatest of all time.
I disagree, but go ahead.
How is he not?
How is he?
You just listed off why.
Yes, I can name 17 other people who are impactful, who are great.
No one ever made the splash that he made in such a short period of time.
We're not going to have this conversation. If you want to, let's do it.
Just real quick, 5 minutes.
Okay. Don't get me wrong. Tupac is epic.
Mm-hmm.
Greatest of all time? I disagree.
Why not? No, just tell me who
rivals with him. There is no greatest of all time when it comes to. Actually, you know what? There is. And if you want to talk about, okay, there is no greatest.
Don't tell me Jay-Z.
No, heck no. Okay. I'm from the South. No, I'm talking about. But
that's the you though. Like overall.
Overall, I'm gonna say if we're looking at his hip hop as a whole.
Yes.
You have to say DJ Paul. I know it sounds crazy.
He's influential.
Music now is.
But dude, look at it this way. Yes, he's influential to the music industry.
Right.
And all the artists look up to DJ Paul and respect him. But you cannot go door to door in every neighborhood in America and ask people who DJ Paul is and get everybody to know. But so everybody, the old white people out in the country know who Tupac is.
Okay, I can get somebody to rival that. Snoop Dogg. More people know Snoop Dogg than Tupac.
Over DJ Paul. Yeah.
The reason I say DJ Paul is because, do you know what an 808 is?
Yes, I know. I know the whole story.
DJ Paul invented the 808.
Mm-hmm.
There would not be trap music if there was no DJ Paul.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. There would no dubstep.
To the people in the industry is DJ Paul. Yes.
Okay.
Because more people have copied DJ Paul than ever copied Tupac.
You know how many sample that? Yeah, ho.
Yeah.
You know how many people sample that?
It's still going today.
When's the
25 years later, they're still doing it.
The most popular drug in music right now is syrup. What was the first time you ever heard syrup on a popular mainstream? Sipping on some scissor.
Yeah, they brought it into the mainstream for sure before Texas did it.
DJ and Texas started it.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, continue with your explain this.
Anyway, 1992, after a performance in Marin City, California, a confrontation occurred in which Shakur pulled out his he was a registered gun owner, Colt Mustang.
In Atlanta.
No, this was Marin City, California.
Okay, go ahead.
There's the other one. They got his whole rap sheet here.
You know he shot at 2 cops in Atlanta,
Yes,
too.
I
All
do.
right, go ahead.
It's in here. But this was 1992. Allegedly dropped it. He then allegedly dropped it. When a member of his entourage picked the gun up, a bullet discharged. The stray bullet killed 6-year-old Quiet Walker.
Oh, wow.
Shakur and his stepbrother, Maurice Harding, were arrested, but the charges were later dismissed. It was reported that Shakur agreed to pay a settlement between $300,000 and $500,000 to the parents of the slain child, even though it wasn't his fault, basically. I mean, but he pulled the gun out, so
it's your
he
fault.
made it right with the parents. Tupac was really...
Which was the right thing to do, though.
Exactly. April 5th, 1993, Shakur spent 10 days in Michigan prison for beating another rapper with a baseball bat.
2 days before my birthday.
October 31st, 1993, Shakur was arrested for a shooting incident in Atlanta involving 2 off-duty cops.
Halloween night.
Witness. Yes. Mark Whitwell, a police officer in Clayton County, and Whitwell's brother Scott, a police officer in nearby Henry County, and their wives were crossing the street when they were nearly hit by a car. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but you know the whole altercation, and he shot at him, but no one was injured. Or he didn't hit him, did he?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think. Oh, hold on.
I think he hit
Shakur
one in the
shot
leg.
one. Yeah, that was. He shot one in the leg.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know
Yeah.
my music.
November 18th, 1993, Shakur was arrested for sexually abusing a 19-year-old woman.
Which there's an interview that no, not a sponsor, not a plug, but DJ Vlad did an interview with that lady and said that Tupac really had nothing to do with that.
That was his big stint there. He was sentenced to 1.5 to 4.5 years in prison, for which he served 9 months.
So what is this mugshot about? What did he get arrested for on this mugshot?
Specific mugshot. Trying to figure out which one that specific one was. It was 1995. Let me go to the 95 incident.
Tupac looks like a whole alien.
Okay, November 30th, 1994, Shakur was ambushed by 3 black men in the lobby of a Times Square recording studio
When
in
he was
New York
shot,
City.
yeah.
The men, yes, that was the infamous, the one he
Oh,
blamed on Biggie.
yeah. And then he got out of jail and he was in the wheelchair with the... Okay, I remember now.
And the last one was April 5th, 1996. Shakur was sentenced to 130 days in jail for violating the terms of his bail. But yes, that was the final one before his death.
That was not too long after he passed away. R.I.P. to Tupac. R.I.P. to everyone we brought up in this episode.
Oh, yeah. Hip-hop's a crazy thing. Huh?
So is wrestling.
It is. People have died in wrestling. Just like they have in hip-hop.
Hip-hop, 100%. Which is why we have started a new channel called Trash Talk Sports.
Yes.
And that link will be in the description, guys. Please go over there and hit that subscribe button. If you like sports, if you like NFL, NBA, MMA, MLB, XFL, sports and period, in general.
Yes, in period also.
You go check us out.
Any period, because we might cover the history of sports.
We just might. With that being said, guys.
For God's sake, give us a comment.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Hit that subscribe button. Leave us a like. And Smokey, what else?
For God's sake, give us a comment.
And I love you.
I love you, too.
With that being said, my name is Barringer Hollywood 6 Bounds.
I am Larry Smokey Ramirez Cowan.
And we are over and out.
Deuces.